Perfect. Thank you. All right, welcome back to another Helm Developer Weekly call. And as usual, we abide by the CNCF community guidelines and put your agenda items into the document if you haven't already. And I think Ben has and Philip has. Wonderful. So we'll go ahead and start with the announcements. So we always start with announcements and then discussions. So Karen, I see you put in a blog post.
Yeah, so it's a blog post just welcoming YXX Hero. They are the newest maintainer to the Helm job website and have been helping with docs, just things on the website, and they will also be super helpful when it comes to the Chinese documents. So this is a blog post welcoming them. It went out, I think, earlier this week, but just wanted to surface it, and I will schedule a tweet through the Helm Twitter account. But yeah, just wanted to bring attention to it. And well, they're not on the call, but if they were, welcome. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. It'd be great if they join the call sometime so we could all say hi. All right. Thanks for others joining us. We put the agenda is in the chat. You want to add any items for those of you just joining us? So next on the agenda are moving to the discussion topics. Philip, I see you put in a follow-up from last week. If you would like to talk about that one.
So there were two items actually I took as follow-ups. One was the Helm dashboard, where there was some discussion if they are using like the Helm brand name. Yeah, and it's not like official Kubernetes Linux Foundation project or CNCF project. So they seem to be using the Helm brand there without any confirmation. And I took a look if at least it is something that you can use without buying stuff from them. And it seems like you can actually like just install it as a plugin into Helm locally and then just start it. So that worked with just my my Kubernetes cluster. So I had no problem starting that. So I think, yeah, at least from that angle, it's like fair. Still, yeah, we will have to see if that's what we want to allow, or if you consider it fair use. But at least it's not behind a paywall and making use of the brand. But of course, they want to upsell, right? So.
Right. So Karen, what do you think? Should somebody reach out to Amy or to just
yeah, I mean, I think like, well, first off, thanks Philip for doing the due diligence there. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I think it isn't clear that it's like perfectly fair game, right? So I think, yeah, we'll probably just I can reach out to Amy and like, you know, they have their like LF like IP lawyers and things like that, which I think would be better equipped to deal with it than we would be. So yeah, I will hand it over to Amy and just kind of if there's anything that's pertinent or like relevant beyond just, you know, their GitHub repo that's worth sharing, let me know. But I don't know if there are any objections to handing it over to CNCF. And for context, for those of you who just joined, basically we found out that there is a Helm or a Helm dashboard project that is independent of Helm, but is using the Helm name. So therefore, because Helm is a CNCF project, the trademark belongs to CNCF, and you can't really go off and just use projects or like the brands and yeah, I guess the branding of projects without having reached out to CNCF. And even then, I don't know if you can just use it. So that's kind of where what we're dealing with right now, that there is a company that has built a project using the Helm brand, but it isn't associated with us. And so it can create some confusion around whether this is an official Helm related or endorsed project. Yeah, so So what I'm going to do is reach out to Amy, who works for the CNCF, and kind of just let them deal with it. Yeah, and if anyone sees anything like this in the wild, let us know. Just because I whether or not we're okay with the project existing, I just don't know what legal implications there may be down the line, especially in this case, if there's the potential of people making money off of the brand, that's where it can get really sticky. Okay, so I will take the action item to reach out to Amy. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
And yeah, like Karen said, thank you for doing the due diligence on that, Philip.
No problem.
So our next,
Then there was one more follow-up, right? The issue on the import values precedents. So I actually had a look on the other PRs regarding import values, and it indeed seems to be that one of the pull requests there is, yeah, more or less in conflict with this one. So it makes actually the documented behavior is different from what we currently observe in Helm. So it seems like that was changed in some pull request. I don't know how long ago. So that's why probably the documentation is now wrong because it wasn't adapted. It's basically a breaking change. So probably it should have never been changed, the PR, but now it's in already, right? And that other pull request that's in conflict with our pull request would make the behavior configurable. So maybe that would be even a better solution for this problem, as it seems like some people prefer the one way and some people prefer the other way. There was some back and forth. So yeah, probably making it configurable is then the best choice there. I can also comment this in the issue later on. Just
did you put the conflicting pull request in there?
yes,
So,
yeah, can do that.
thank you. Okay. All right, we have several more topics. So Ben and Rodham, would you like to talk about Kubescape integration?
Yeah, so I'm actually starting with what we are looking for. Okay, we are really looking for contacting the Helm team, okay, who can help us, okay, because in the Kubescape project, what we are doing is we are looking for security and compliance issues in Kubernetes objects, both in, in static in files and also in the API server itself. So it's like, finding misconfigurations and security issues, okay, inside the definition of Kubernetes objects. And we did a Helm integration where what we are doing is actually we are templating, okay, the chart during the runtime and scanning the template the template result, okay, itself. And it works very nicely. The problem is that many of our features are depending on actually be able to connect to show the user where the problem is inside his file. So it's like, showing you a file and a line and say hey, you can fix this issue here, okay, or like really pinpointing you, okay, where to solve the problems we are raising or concerns. Now, when we are templating hand charts, obviously, okay, this it is very problematic, okay, because we cannot backtrack today using the Helm API. We cannot backtrack, okay, where each part of the end result is coming from which file, and we are thinking of doing a contribution to the Helm or working together between our projects, okay, in order to enable this, to add this information, so we could show a backtrace, every line in the output to the input, okay, and show the users where this is coming from. And we are really looking for a contact point, okay, who can, from the maintainer team, okay, who can be, work with us on this thing. I don't know if there is anyone here who is interested in this.
So I'm thinking that maybe a demo would be good on
So
another.
well, let me check you something. Okay, maybe I can show you right now something. It is going to be from, can I share screen?
I believe so. There's the share screen. Or
Yeah, I think it should, like, you should be able to do it. I don't think I have to grant him access. Oh, cool.
Okay, so let me try. Okay, this is a graphical interface. Hopefully I have something that is working right now. I'm not in the right account, sorry. Okay, so this one. So as I think about it, that we have scanned a Git repository, okay, and inside the Git repository, okay, we found the Helm chart, and inside the Helm chart, okay, we templated the Helm chart and then scanned the Helm chart itself. Okay, and don't know why it is not coming up. Wait a second. Sorry, I haven't prepared an environment where I can show you. No data to display, okay. It's going to work here. No. Changing accounts. Sorry. I don't have here. So let me try to show it through another way. Let me check something that they have some data here. Okay. Okay, so we have here Kubernetes objects from, actually not from Helm, but they came from the Kubernetes API, but I think I can show you the issue here. So as you can see here, okay, there was a control which failed, which is called which control tests whether you have a writable host path, okay, inside your YAML file. And as you can see, okay, our system can show you a single line, okay, that you have to fix here, okay, this property in the object, right? Okay, the read only is right now in this case it should be true, okay. It should be turned on to be true, okay, in order to fix this this thing. Now, if this object is coming from a Helm template, then we would like to track it back to the original Helm files, okay, the Helm which were before the templating were on the disk. I don't know if I could explain it, if you caught what I meant.
Yeah, I think tracing it back to the file should be not that complex, as Helm adds comments, right? But probably if you want to trace it back really to the line of code where something is coming from, then it gets tricky, just to tell you, because Helm is basically based on Go templating, and I don't think Go templating has something like this easily available. Might be wrong, but so I guess it would be rather hard to
I get it. So now the question is, again, I don't expect you to solve this issue, okay, right here in this place. We understood, okay, by also, we read the code, okay, we understood that this is something, okay, that's a little rather complex and tricky. We are actually looking for someone from the Helm team to work with, or some sponsor like person who is interested in this issue and would like to work with us, sorting this out, or at least coordinating, okay, also with our discussions with the Go team. And we are looking for like someone who's interested and from the maintainers and will be in our contact from the team.
we'll surface it to the other maintainers and see if anybody would like to collaborate. I mean, it looks really interesting. It's going to depend on who has cycles, I think.
Okay, so do you have a maintainer meeting? Okay, where you can raise?
Not a specific meeting, so we can surface it to our other chat with the maintainers.
Okay,
And then
so
you're in the development chat on
Yeah.
Slack, Kubernetes. Okay.
I wrote there already. This is why we came here, okay, because we're suggested to came here.
No, we're excited that you came here, and I wish that we had more of the maintainers on the call right now. So we just need to make sure that one, either have you back at a different time where we can coordinate.
Right. Okay. So I will write my contact in the doc, okay, and I will be happy if you can,
Perfect.
someone from your side. Thank
Yeah,
you.
can you include relevant links as well? If there's anything you want us to forward to them? Yeah.
Sure. Great. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
I was also going to suggest, did you create an issue on Helm GitHub?
No, not yet. But if you think that this, we should, I will create an issue in the GitHub, okay, to discuss this.
I think it'll be a good idea because it will help discussion.
Okay. Okay. So we'll open up an issue.
That's a great idea, George. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, next topic. Tim, I see you've put in a pull request. I'm looking to see which one this is. So the CRD templating.
Yes, thank you. I am a maintainer on the Cert Manager team, so I'm not sure if anyone knows Cert Manager, but we use Helm to kind of distribute Cert Manager and let everyone install Cert Manager. However, there are some challenges that that our users are facing when they're using Helm. And I think one of the challenges that really comes back a lot is using Helm in combination with CRDs, because Cert Manager, of course, has some CRDs. And one of the problems that they are facing is that it's hard to combine the CRDs and the resources itself in the same Helm chart. So installing a CRD and then also installing an instance of that CRD, so a CR, it's kind of hard because when you do that, Helm will say, okay, I don't know this type, right? Because it won't have or invalidated the cache, and so it will say, okay, I don't know this type. I think you can work around that by using the CRDs folder in your Helm chart. So instead of putting the CRDs in the templates folder, you put it in the CRDs folder. However, then it's not possible to use templating. So CRDs in the CRD folder cannot be templated. So that's also something that we require. We require there to be some templated fields in our CRDs. I think it's labels and maybe the URL of the webhook that has to be templated. So that's something we require. So CRDs folder is not an option for us. So that's why we currently put everything in the templates folder. However, then it's not possible to combine these CRDs with custom resources. And there are some other challenges that happen because of this. Additionally, I think that's it. So this PR tries to fix this by solving both issues. So it tries to, it adds templating to the CRDs in the CRDs folder, but it also filters out all the CRD resources when you're doing the render of the templates, and then installs those first, then invalidates the discovery client cache, and then installs all the other resources. And so hopefully that will also allow our users to use Cert Manager as a dependency in the Helm chart and work that way. So that's kind of the issue explained, or the PR explained. And I actually reached out to, let me get the conversation, to Scott Rigby. He asked me to join this meeting, but I don't think he's here, right? But yeah, I think he is very interested in this issue, so hopefully we can start some.
So I'm interested in this issue too.
Okay, cool.
I think it's great for having some sort of cert manager integration or more with the CRDs. I think Andy Block would be really interested, so I'm gonna send this to him. And Philip, what do you think? I think Matt Farina might be interested too, but I'm gonna have multiple ways to take a look at it.
I know that it's a long-standing issue in Helm, right? CRD handling. So
Yeah,
a lot of people would be happy if that would be finally get a good solution.
have you
Well,
read
I'm not
the-
saying that. Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say, have you read some of the history? There's a lot of blogs, issues, hips out there on the subject from my own also reading on this. I know things like if you template CRDs, but then you upgrade, you end up with problems because the new like existing software might be running on the old versions of CRDs, and then you've changed the definition. And there's all sorts of edge conditions which people have described out there. So it's probably worth reading.
Yeah,
researching some on this.
that's definitely what I'm looking for. So I'm trying to start a conversation, create this PR to kind of give a proof of concept, something that I think would work. And I hope that you can give some feedback, say, okay, this won't work, or this is not compatible with the way that we want to do things. And hopefully we can get to some common ground and get some of the things I'm proposing here merged and get some improvements for our users. So I really want to get this conversation started. Well, at least based on these ideas that I have here in this PR, right? So I don't want to like start from the ground up. I have some concrete ideas, so let's maybe try to base our improvements on this. Hopefully we can improve a bit. But I think there is some room for improvement still. So even though there are some challenges, or a lot of challenges, I think, with Kubernetes and CRDs and upgrading, I think there are still some ways that we can improve and that we can make the lives of our users a bit easier.
So Tim, one suggestion would be to a lot of the additional context that you gave us here, could you put that into the PR? Because I see
Yeah,
couldn't have gotten all of that from the PR itself, which may be
indeed.
what hasn't been looked at yet.
It's a bit has got yeah. It's a long time ago that I created the PR, so I might want to revisit the PR indeed, spend some more time explaining what I'm trying to solve here. So I'll try to do that. But yeah, it would also be nice or cool if you could kind of set up some communication channels so that I can reach out to you and get the discussion going.
So I already sent it to Andy, and it'd be good to keep the conversation going in the Helm Dev Slack and then come back here when it makes sense, right?
Yeah, cool.
So if we want to put that into the Helm Dev Slack and then tag both Scott and Andy and say that you already came here and talked about it, and then continue the conversation there, we'll get pushing on it.
And that's Andy as in Andrew Block. I don't know if that's like apparent on Slack.
Not the other Andy, sorry.
Oh, okay.
There's two Andys and neither of them are here today. Usually they show up at the same time. All right, we only have 2 minutes left. So thank you, Tim. And
you.
if you have one other item on the George, this is your
Yeah, I can defer this till next week if you want to try and wrap up. It's not urgent. It's just like a curiosity.
Okay, I guess we should talk about next week since the US is, I think it's Thanksgiving for the US.
Yes, it will be, yes.
The question is should we cancel the call or, Philip, George, do you want to keep the call going for?
I won't be able to make it, but.
Should we just do George's topic
Um,
now and then skip next week?
I don't think talking to myself will be then very productive, right? So, yeah.
When I get my most of my work done. All right. Then we'll keep it for in 2 weeks, if that's okay, George.
Sounds good.
Okay. And thank you, everybody, for joining. And we'll cancel next week. So in 2 weeks. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Bye bye.